Hello everyone, welcome to this news hour on Equinoxe television, broadcasting from Cameroon's economic capital Douala. I am Bable Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the 6 p.m. newscast on Equinoxe television, several students and pupils hindered from going to school on this first day of the 2022-2023 academic year in the crisis-stricken northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon. Streets were deserted in several parts of the two regions as a result of the close to 6-year-long armed conflicts going on there and the Operation Ghost Town imposed by pro-independence fighters in streets and villages of the northwest region of the country. Towns and villages were deserted. You're going to see the images in this edition of the 6 p.m. newscast. However, some students and pupils managed to make their way to their different institutions to start the new school year. And in news out of the Republic of Cameroon, Catholic bishops in the Republic of Chad back out of the national dialogue organized to restore peace in the security crisis-stricken country. They are complaining over inadequate communication. Those were our top stories. We begin this newscast in Bajula in the west region of the Republic of Cameroon, where at least one person has been killed by a road accident. The accident occurred at the weekend, leaving one person dead and several others injured. For me, I'm Sander, files in details.
It was in Bajula village, Penka Michel subdivision, Menwa division of the west region of Cameroon. Lucas Save victims are 60-year-old Mama Mazu Victorine and her granddaughter were headed to the farm when they got knocked down by an over-speeding commercial motorcycle. Mama Mazu Victorine unfortunately died on the scene of the incident, and her granddaughter, severely wounded, was rushed to a hospital facility in the town of Penka Michel.
Cette moto est venue de l'autre côté en grande vitesse.
He says the old woman was knocked down and pulled along on a distance of about 20 meters on the tar. Two other persons on board the commercial motorbike, the rider and a passenger, also got wounded, according to local sources. While blaming the accident on the reckless driving on the part of the bike rider, Bajula villagers say a speed break is necessary on that portion of the road, which they believe will limit the number of road accidents in their village.
Now back to school news from Manfe and Kumba indicates that the 2022-2023 academic year effectively started, but was marked by Operation Ghost Town and the close to 6-year-long armed conflict sweeping across northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon, particularly in the town of Kumba. The streets were deserted. Smanjik and Gabriel has more.
It was a school-going day in the National Territory this Monday as the new academic year started. In Kumba, chief town of Meme Division, day one was ghosted, with no child spotted, no commercial motorcycle, and even cars plying the main roads of Kumba. Some parents who spoke to Equinoxe TV off camera said they will send their kids to school only on Tuesday, since Mondays are usually ghosted. Day one in Kumba was thus void of children in classrooms. Over in Manu Division, day one witnessed the presence of some students in government colleges in Mamfi town, though the turnout wasn't satisfactory.
My schools have opened the doors in Manu, and we have some students. There's no school that we have gone without a student. So I'm happy about it that the school here started. Last year I had just 32 students on the day of the opening, but I'm sure we'll have more than 100 because the statistics I'm seeing, the summary will be done. 64 from GHS, 24 from GBHS, the schools will be filled. I know that it will be filled.
Those compulsory subjects like English, French, and mathematics, since the students are still fresh from home, and they are subjects that need freshness in the morning, so those are the subjects that will begin.
The students who had staged a peaceful walk over the weekend, requesting that they should be allowed to put on uniforms to school, this Monday were still spotted in assorted dresses as the new school year began. The senior divisional officer was also out of his office to make an evaluation of the start of the new school year in his zone of jurisdiction.
We have seen teachers teaching. It means that the schools in Manu division has effectively started. Schools have effectively resumed. But the turnout is not what we are expecting. It is the first day, you can understand. But we have hope that during this week, we will have crowd.
In a whole, school timidly started in Kumba of Meme division and Mamfe in Mayu division of the Southwest region this Monday, with many expecting that changes will be recorded as the days unfold.
I still get like 3 or 4 days.
And in the Indian division, still in the southwest region of Cameroon, the senior divisional officer Gilbert Gibai called on the parents, the teachers, the pupils and students to brave the security challenges and make sure that the right to education for the children in particular is not violated or is not trampled upon. He was speaking today while touring some educational institutions in that administrative unit, saying that the insecurity has been there and may continue to be there, but education must continue. Derry Jato reports.
The senior divisional officer from Dian Division is with some practical civic education lessons at Government Bilingual Practicing School Manja, one of the villages that make up Mundemba, the divisional headquarters from Dian Division. Gilbert Gibai Baldenai is his name, and he wants these pupils not only to know that, but also what it meant.
Come from an ethnic we call Matakam in the Fono region.
After visiting all the learning institutions around Mundemba, the senior divisional officer from Dian Division gave his remarks.
I can say that we are satisfied because we see that the teachers are there, the administrative staff is there. It is true, we don't have a lot of students, but few of them are there.
And that the question of insecurity has been answered.
I seize also the opportunity to tell them that there is no problem of security here in Mundemba. All necessary measures.
He will later call on parents to always make sure that their children are on the various campuses on Mondays in order to kill the spirit of Ghost Town.
Concerning the phenomenon of Ghost Town, we observe that it's just the children who don't follow. So I call on their parents in order that each Monday they put them on the way for those for school.
Also present in Mundemba was the Southwest Regional Delegate for Basic Education, Madam Rose Elangwe, who held a series of meetings with her collaborators on how to make the 2022-2023 school year better.
Indian Senior Divisional Officer Gilbert Gibai Baldina calling on parents, pupils and students to kill Operation Ghost Town imposed by pro-independence fighters across the northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon, particularly on Mondays. And of course, this within the close to 6-year-long armed conflict going on in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Now, in the southwest regional capital, Boya, Southwest Governor Bena Okalia Bilai told the teachers to ensure that they are doing their work. They are doing the work the state recruited them and sent them to that part of the country to do in order for things to unfold normally during this academic year. He was speaking after visiting some schools in Boya. And Derek Jato reports once more from Boya.
Students in class on day one of the 2022-2023 academic year in Buea, the Southwest Regional Capital, and they have a guest.
We are privileged to have His Excellency, the Governor of the Southwest Region, to come and see how we have kicked off for the new academic year.
And Southwest Governor Bernard Okalia Bilai, while exchanging with these students, asked them their aspirations. The atmosphere is very relaxed, something that has not been seen in the region since 2016, when the Anglophone crisis escalated. The Chief Executive Officer of the Southwest Region, on his part, gave these students what he termed the key to their dreams, which is hard work.
If you want later on to become what you are saying, medical doctor, police commissioner, police officer, you must work very hard. As from today, this first day of your beginning of secondary school studies.
And let more emphasis on these three aspects as these students climb the academic ladder.
Remember that the governor personally said 3 main subjects: English, French, computer. That is the key. If not, as Dr. Regional Delegate said, you are illiterate.
Visiting schools around Buea, this delegation noted with a lot of satisfaction on the turnout. And to the teachers, they are on the right path.
So I thank you. I say courage. It's not easy. I do all the threats, but we are on the right way. Those who are threatening us, the misguided one, should just pray for them to continue to do what the nation is expecting from us.
At Government Technical High School Buea, parents and their children were seen on campus busy, regularizing their situation in order for their children to join others for 2022-2023 school year, which has kicked off here in Buea on a very calm note.
In the Opec city of Limbe, southwest region of Cameroon, the back-to-school for the 2022-2023 academic year was interrupted by heavy rains. Several schools visited by Equinoxe Television and the senior division officer of the FACO division were void of students, or the turnout was very low. Now, the images you're seeing are images from the town of Bamenda today. The town was ghosted, so to speak. The streets were deserted as a result of the Operation Ghost Town imposed by pro-independence fighters, and this equally interrupted the start of the new school year in that part of the crisis-stricken northwest region of the country. But however, our correspondent in Bamenda says that academic activities effectively resume in some academic institutions around the town of Bamenda, despite the insecurity, despite the unstable socio-political climate reigning there. And this is I think the 5th or the 6th year that the academic activities are interrupted in different parts of the northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon. And this day one of the 2022-2023 academic year was quite a difficult one for pupils and students in the town of Bamenda due to insecurity. We shall be coming back to this with greater details. Now, here in the economic capital of Cameroon, Douala, the academic activities kicked off hitch-free in the different academic institutions in the Republic, and we shall be bringing to you a report focusing on internally displaced persons. pupils and students forced out of their homes in the northwest and southwest regions of the country and who are now seeking refuge in parts of the littoral region, particularly here in Douala, in the Douala 4 subdivision more precisely. Many of them are in the schools in that part of the country, studying in very difficult conditions, finding it quite difficult to acquire the requirements for a successive learning process throughout this academic year. And we shall be bringing that report to you. First of all, Annabella tells us how the academic activity started here in Douala.
Day one of school resumption at the government bilingual high school Bobongo Petit Paris. It was a rainy day in Douala. The students braved it all to be present in school after the long holidays. For one student, were the focus of the day. It is their very first day in secondary school and the excitement is visible.
My name is Cosmo Zawan Mohammed. It's my sister and my brother who bring me here. Madam, my class is very well because I am never entered in this school. When I am entered, I was happy.
My name is Umbi Kongo Brajebi. I came here with my sister. She bring me in my classroom. I'm very happy because I am now in formal. I'm no more in primary school.
Most of them were accompanied by parents or an elder.
Je suis venu accompagner mon fils au lycée de Bobongo.
Though the weather was unfriendly, checks were done at the gate and late coming was not tolerated. The teachers on their part are prepared to accompany the Form 1 students all through the academic year.
They are coming from different schools. I'm telling them that they should always feel free in my class. They should follow my lesson. They do my homework. And anywhere they don't understand in my lesson, they can either ask me in class, out of the class, or anywhere.
And over to Inset and Omega schools in Douala, the first day of school resumption went on hitch-free. The students and pupils were present for lessons, just like the teachers.
Good morning, friends. You are welcome to class 5. All we need is honesty.
Day one of the academic year 2022-2023 kicked off well in most schools in the economic capital.
Now coming up, they run away from violence, killings, destruction in the northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon, and they are seeking refuge in parts of the littoral region and other areas in the francophone parts of the country. They are IDPs, internally displaced pupils and students. Many of them are learning and living in very difficult conditions. And Annabella tells us just how those who are in Bonaberi Douala 4 subdivision are managing to cope with the difficult conditions in which they find themselves today. Her report.
As pupils and students begin classes for the new academic year, the situation is different with internally displaced persons who have escaped violence in the northwest and southwest regions. Besem and her schoolmates ran away from the southwest.
I'm from southwest in Kumba. I came here because there was war in Kumba. We did not even go to school because when we go to school, they'll just start shooting in school, so we cannot go to school.
There are some kids out there that don't go to school. There are some kids that are even pregnant. Some are dead because of this war. So I came here so that I can learn, so I can be a great person tomorrow to help the others.
I'm called Nyansi Ebo Besen from Manfe. I've been down for close to 4 years without going to school. So my parents decided that I should come this way, since school is going this way effectively. So that I should come and school here. I've been here, though things are not really moving that way, but we are trying.
The war forced other kids away from the war-torn northwest to seek refuge plus education in Douala.
Okay, my name is Teko Kezia. I'm from Batsbo.
So I came here to go to school. I've been in Bamenda for but I'm not going to school for 4 years. I'm school in Atlanta. I'm a tailor. I'm here to learn how to sew dresses.
Younger bless. I am from Fundong because of war and strike. That is why I left from Fundong to Campidra to continue my education.
At the Government Bilingual High School Bonaberi or the Government Technical College still in Bonaberi, the administration say they find it hard to teach the displaced students with limited equipment.
You know the technical school, meaning that we need workshops and we need equipment.
Same with Atlantic Comprehensive College, where internally displaced persons are accorded preferential treatment so they can catch up with their education.
Concerning the internally displaced students, we had to reduce fees for most of them when we noticed that they came from the northwest and the southwest. Then with others, we gave them extra exercise books to help them with their school needs. Then with some who have health difficulties too, we made sure that the nurse sees into it, and then we see how far we can go to also assist.
Parents of the children who escaped from the conflict-stricken northwest and southwest are worried about the future of their kids, considering the difficult times.
I come from Kondotiti subdivision, Bafakabalu as a village precisely. I ran away from the crisis that is hitting the southwest and northwest region, the Anglophone regions, 2017. And since then, I've been living here at Bonendale. And it's not really easy for this back to school, as you see us preparing my children with my wife. How do we even have the money?
The wish of most of these displaced persons across Cameroon, especially those who live in Douala and Bonaberi, is for the war to stop so they can regain their homes in the northwest and southwest regions and resume their activities normally as it was before the war broke out.
Now, news out of the Republic of Cameroon. Catholic bishops in the Republic of Chad have withdrawn from the national dialogue organized to restore peace in the security crisis-stricken country, and they're complaining over communication flaws. Details with Mala Glory.
On August 21st, more than 1,400 delegates from the military government, civil society, opposition parties, trade unions and rebel groups gathered in Jamena for the National Inclusive Dialogue that is scheduled to last 3 weeks, which is to be put to a referendum. Members of the Episcopal Conference of Chad say the Catholic Church, whose mission is to work for reconciliation, justice and peace, felt concerned and gave a particular importance to which, in the end, there has been no dialogue in the ongoing deliberations. They note that Chadians have high expectations of this dialogue because the conclusion should make it possible to re-establish the constitutional order broken with the unexpected death of the president.
And this is where we end the first part of this newscast. Coming up next, Talking Point. Our guest today is an educationist, proprietor of Atlantic Comprehensive College, Atlantic Comprehensive High School. Now, our guest coming up. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Babila, and it is an honor for me to be here this evening.
Ndomo Robert is an educationist, proprietor of Atlanta Comprehensive High School, not Atlantic as indicated earlier. Now, tell us, what is your take about the start of the new school year from what we've received as information from across the country? What do you think about this academic year?
Within the context of Douala, Yaoundé and most of East Cameroon, we think that things are back to normal within school milieu. There was effective opening in almost all the areas around primary, secondary and high school. But looking at the other two regions, that is the northwest, southwest, I'm still afraid that even though there is a zeal to go to school, a lot has to be done, especially with the launching of the Ghost Town again that has come up to disrupt the zeal of our students to move back to school.
You've certainly received many students in your school, Atlanta Comprehensive High School, from the northwest and southwest regions of the country, IDPs who have escaped war. What's their situation?
By the year 2018, the literacy level for Cameroon, literacy level was 77.2%. But as of now, which is 2022, I will tell you that the literacy level of our country is almost around 30%. Just because most of the schools in the Northwest are closed. I'm sure you as a journalist, I don't need to be telling you which schools are closed. If you go to the Northwest, out of about 1,000 schools that we had in the Northwest, I don't think that up to 100 functional. That already tells you that how many thousands of students are out. The few parents that can afford have managed to send their children in the eastern part of this region. And you know, that is not enough. How many of these parents can actually afford is the question. And even those that have managed to come, you find parents that come and they shed tears in the office. And I want to tell you frankly that since this crisis started, there is no year that we have not put a budget for IDPs above 4 million to 5 million francs. Sometimes they come with a fees that they are supposed to collect about 100,000. You are bound to cut the fees by half. Even sometimes, even the half they cannot pay. And we are all human. You bear with me. So they don't even have what to eat. At the end, you find mature children coming and crying with you that the whole day they have not eaten. They cannot withstand the teaching again. And what do you tell? What do? You have to go into your pocket and give something for these children, just to make them to feel free. If not, I'm telling you that the situation is bad. So let the government, as I'm saying, the fact that war is going on in the Northwest and the fact that school is not going is not something that we should accept. If you go even into South Africa, even the days of Mandela being in prison, he was still shouting that children should go to school. There was war in Iraq, children were still going to school. Even in Ukraine, children are still going to school. So if there's a little problem that we have in our country today, let education continue. So our government should not only believe that there's education going up this way, they should go to see the condition of these IDPs and then assist them, either by providing books. And if you equally look at where these children are staying, most of Anglophone homes in this part of the country are saturated. You go to a single room, you realize that there are 11 children living in that one room house. What is the condition of learning there? It's bad.
Yeah, and you said the government should see how to improve on the situation of these children. Concretely, what should government do, and how is it going to help the situation?
Our students nowadays, there's a lot of distraction. The government has come in place to set up a curriculum that we must follow. The teachers are there to implement, but I want to bear with you that our students nowadays have a lot of distraction which keep them away from following up that set goal by the government. And most of these things center around parents who accept their children to move to school with things like phones, have a lot of peer groups, distraction, allowing the students to watch TV, and a lot of what I call lack of follow-up by parents to the students' program, and then some of them do not even know where their children go to school. Those are things that we have tried to canvass most of our parents to know that education is not only left to the hands of the teachers and the school, but equally they have a lot to partake in. Our students should first have that aspect of going to school in mind. When they already believe that they are out for an objective which is succeeding at the end of the year, they should be able to be regular in school, which is the motto, being regular 5 on 5. They should be able to be disciplined in school, they should be able to do their assignment, and I believe that when they do these 2-3 things, they will be able to meet up with the set objective of the educational system, which is success in all exams.
Right, about the responsibility of the students and the pupils while they're already in their classrooms, and when they leave their classrooms and go home, what are some of the things that they should be doing as from this first day of the academic year, in order to ensure a successful academic year, in order to ensure that at the end they should take up something back home that's going to help them not only to pass exams but to succeed in life?
The first thing that they need to know is when they come to school, they have to get their timetable set, because the school obviously gives them a timetable. They have to copy their notes. They have to own textbooks, because one of the problems that we are faced with is lack of textbooks. They have to own textbooks. They have to copy notes, and they have to go back home and revise these notes and do a lot of assignment. That is what is required of them. Pupils that are attending nursery up to class 6. If you look at it, in those our days, we used to be 6 years and some people going to primary 1. But nowadays you find children who have not even left their mother breast milk, you find them in school. If you look at their IQ at that level cannot be able to accelerate or cannot be able to assimilate those materials that are meant for that particular class. But that notwithstanding, equally the quality of our teachers today and most of the professional schools today, a lot of corruption has come in. Even some of those that we find in the teaching field today, they are not qualified, whereas those that are outside are qualified. So I want to think that let the government help us to be able to control those professional schools that train the teachers. Then to the part of the parent need to come in to assist their children. When they come back home, they should be able to check their books, try to do the assignment or accompany them to do this assignment that are given to them. When they do this consistently, they will see that these children will be able to adapt and be able to move as far as the objective of that class is concerned. For the primary, the nursery, the child must attain 4 years before going to the nursery. Nursery 1, nursery 2. So by 6 years, 5 years, the child should be going but to class 1. But you see, most of the time you find children writing even first school leaving certificate and common entrance at 9 years. Do the calculation yourself, you see that there is a problem. So a lot of maybe miscalculation. Even sometimes parents do even do force this thing into school milieu. So school should use the principles set by the government, which is the average age the child should be sent to school. I think if that is respected, we'll see that this issue of even the level of education dropping will change a lot.
Now, on the responsibilities of teachers, tell us more about what is expected of them to upgrade the training that they are giving to the pupils and the students.
Yeah, one thing that I want to say here is that let our teachers equally know the particular class that they are teaching and the age group. It matters a lot. When you know the age group and the class and the objective, you will bear with me that you need to be friendly first with the teacher, with the students and the pupils. Be friendly with them. Make them love your subject. Make them love you. And when once they love you, love your subject, no matter how you are passing this information, they will understand. Equally know that to pass any exam, you must know that information has to be passed. There are two types of sensory organs. So we have what we call the short-term memory and the long-term memory. When you come into a class and teach like a teacher, or a what we call primary, secondary school, no matter where, the people are taking that information and stored, but in what we call the short-term memory. And that short-term memory cannot make a student to pass an exam. Information must be transferred from that short-term memory to the long-term memory, which makes it easier for the child or the student to be able to recall what was taught in school. So if this has to be done, means that there should be repetition over and over. Repetition over and over, and then there should be equally what we call consistency in giving assignment, or what most of us call homework, to our people and the students. If you look at the issue that we are facing at the secondary level, it is that of language. The English language of our people or students are very poor. They cannot even write, even the handwriting is bad. So we go back to primary because it's the base. So we are pleading that let those of our teachers who are handling those people, they should be able to do what we call consistency in their follow-up. You see, sometimes they are sharp learners in class, then sometimes they are slow learners, but they should always make sure that they carry each and everyone along. So they should always give some time, extra time, to those learners that will consider that they are low learner. We give them that extra time, motivate them. You see, they will be able to adapt and then move up to meet those that we consider that they are fast learners.
There are problems of kidnapping of pupils and violence and other unorthodox practices, sexual misconduct especially at the level of the secondary education. First of all, with the primary school pupils, tell us more about the responsibility of parents in ensuring that their children are safe, are secured, do not fall into the hands of criminals.
Parents are almost going out of their own duties as far as child upbringing is concerned. What do I mean here? You see a child in class 1, even class 2, carrying a very large bag alone on the street going to school. I think this is what we call negligent on the part of our parents. Let our parents sit up. They should be able to take these children to school in the morning and then have somebody that will take this child or these children back to the house. And even if you have to send somebody apart from the mother or the father, the school is supposed to know who is coming to take this child home, because we have seen a lot of mishaps somewhere along the line where different people move into school, claim to be the guardian of the people, and when they take these children, they are nowhere to be found. So let parents know that these children are a gift from God, that you attach some importance to these children, give some time to these children, and when they do this follow-up, you realize that this issue of kidnapping and so on disappear.
Complicity of the technical or the news director. Let's talk about violence and other sexual misconducts at the level of secondary schools in particular. What should parents and the schools do to kind of solve this problem?
Are almost going out of their own duties as far as child upbringing is concerned. What do I mean here? You see a child in class 1, even class 2, carrying a very large bag alone on the street going to school. I think this is what we call negligent on the part of our parents. Let our parents sit up. They should be able to take these children to school in the morning and then have somebody that will take this child or these children back to the house. And even if you have to send somebody apart from the mother or the father, the school is supposed to know who is coming to take this child home, because we have seen a lot of mishaps somewhere along the line where different people move into school, claim to be the guardian of the people, and when they take these children, they are nowhere to be found. So let parents know that these children are a gift from God, that you attach some importance to these children, give some time to these children, and when they do this follow-up, you realize that this issue of kidnapping and so on will disappear.
All right, Mr. Ntumu. Robert is an educationist. He is the proprietor of Atlanta Comprehensive High School, and with him we're going to come back to the issue of violence and of course unorthodox practices, including sexual misconduct, especially at the secondary level of education some other time. Now, that is how we saw it in this edition of the 6 p.m. Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thank you for staying with us. Bye-bye.